on that topic, Rack and Sharpton and Minifield and I believe Philip Thomas. Any update?
Yes, Minifield was down with his hamstring strain. Rackwell has an ankle sprain. He will not play against Tampa, obviously. Thomas has a sore foot, re-injured his foot a little bit. We're going to get it checked out some more. And Sharpton practiced very limited. He's still pretty sore on that thing, so he's probably doubtful to questionable for the game on Thursday. Morgan Moses practiced. He was fine. And Tracy Porter practiced, but looked like he wasn't quite himself. Might have re-injured it a little bit, but we'll see how he's doing tomorrow. And Akeem Jordan has a slight thigh contusion. He should be okay.
And one final question to beat the topic to death. For Thursday, the starters playing, would you envision it just being the offense? Have you seen what you wanted out of the defense?
Yeah, I've seen what I think the defense has done a great job, you know, and the offense has done some good things too. It's just you hate to end on a sour note, and we ended on a sour note. But it's still not the end of the world. You know, it's you get on tape, you get your coaching done, you make your corrections, and you move on. And that's what we got to do. Whether they play a series or not in Tampa, it's probably 10% chance. I'm leaning towards no, but we'll see how we are as far as bodies are concerned out there when we get ready to play Tampa. I want to make sure we have enough bodies to play against the Bucs.
Jay, Philip Thomas, you said is he going to have an MRI on that foot?
He's going to get checked out, yeah.
Okay, and then with Robert, there are times we see in the games where there's the hitch, a couple extra hitches on his throws. I don't know if it's late on the throws. What is that? Is that a function of him still learning? Is it a function of not trusting the receivers or himself, or what do you attribute
It's
that to?
a little bit of everything. That could be function of him not trusting the coverage, not trusting his footwork, but that's something he's got to get out of. He's got to have a trust factor that the drop's going to match the receiver's depth and all that stuff. He's got to let some things fly. He's just a little bit hesitant right now, which is normal with some new concepts. He's out here today. He wasn't hesitant at all. He was throwing the ball on time and accurate today. So we just got to maintain that confidence going into games, and that's something that hopefully will come in time. But he hasn't really shown that hesitancy, you know, like he did against Baltimore for whatever reason. I don't know if it was, you know, a push in the pocket where he felt a little pressure, or maybe he saw the linebacker or what have you. But he's got to just learn to trust the fact that he's got to let some of those balls go, let the receivers do some work for him.
What are some ways what are things you can do to help him get that confidence and to just let it go?
Oh, he's got to do it. He's got to continue to do it. You know, he's in his third year, like I said, and some of these route combinations are new to him, and he just got to trust the fact that he's got to believe what he sees. But he's got to see it first, and in order to see it, he's got to have some protection. He's got to keep his eyes on the right spot and go through his progressions and make his decisions and get the ball out of his hands. So, you know, it'll come. It'll come. He's got the ability to do it. He's got the smarts to do it. He's got the wants to do it. He's just got
guys showing what you're going to eventually show week one and then beyond.
You know, we're running concepts that should be successful. You know, they should be more successful than they are. We ran a couple outside zone plays where the guard went the wrong way a couple times, and that can never happen. And we had some other pass plays that should be okay. It shouldn't be as bad looking as they were. We should be better at what we're doing. There is an element of things we haven't done yet, but that's no excuse for us. We should have been better against Baltimore than we were. The short week is no excuse. The lack of major, you know, installing offensive plays shouldn't be an excuse. We got to be better executing what we do. And we ran the outside zone. That's what we do. And we ran some play actions off of it. That's what we do. And we ran some drop back pass concepts that we will have against Houston that we should have been better at.
Any setback or anything with Jason Hatcher after playing?
No, he was good. He was good. He played well, and he felt good today, so that's a good sign. No.
Jay, can you talk about what factors will play into whether or not those starters will start in this fourth preseason game? What are you going to consider?
I think the major consideration is how many guys we have at what position left on the team. We got to make sure we field enough guys that we can play a football game. You know, we have 75 guys now, you know, 2 punters, 2 kickers, a holder, long snapper. So we just got to make sure we have enough healthy bodies that we can function against Tampa Bay. We're not going to wear out the guys that are playing. So that takes that's one consideration. The other one is let's see how we're progressing in practice and making sure I feel good about resting the guys that I'm going to rest, that they're ready to play in the regular season.
Just to be clear about Philip Thomas, is it the same foot that he had the Liz Frank injury? Okay.
Yes.
So what's the level of concern?
That it looks like it's bothering him a little bit, but we got to get it fixed because he's a good football player. We need to make sure he's healthy when he's ready to play.
I'm sorry. No, just Rob Jackson has been here a long time, and obviously when you draft Murphy, that he's going to be the odd man out. But how tough is that? You talked early in camp about how tough cuts are going to be, particularly a guy like that who's been around.
Yeah, it's tough. He's a good player, great guy. He's worked hard. But part of the factoring, it's not just how well you play that position; it's what you do that can help the team in other spots, special teams, for instance. And unfortunately, we drafted Murph, and we have some other young kids that are playing well, and it was just time to move on. There's, a chance we could bring him back later on if he doesn't get picked up. But he was a good Redskin for a while, and we wish him the best. But it is a very difficult process when you let anybody go, especially a guy that's done so well for your franchise.
Top guys still count toward the 75, right? So you still have 3 to go?
Yeah.
Right, okay.
Jay, when you went back and watched on tape the two narrow ones, I guess the one you got flagged on and the other big play they made, what was your view? Did you think it was the right ball flag? Did you think it was...
Yeah, the first one where he tackled the running back, I thought that was a legal hit. And then the second one, he did the best he could. It looked like, Flacco threw a late one over his head also at the same time. It was a bang-bang play, and it's going to be up to the commissioner and the people looking at that, whether or not he's going to get fined or what have you. It's out of my hands, but I thought he tried in his best interest. He tried his best to lower his target and avoid the helmet-to-helmet contact. But sometimes when you're lowered and the receiver lowers at exactly the same time, it's very difficult. But he's trying. He tried to lower it. And, Ryan Clark had one later in the game on Pitta. He did a great job of lowering his target with his shoulder and got him in the stomach rib area. It was a clean hit, and we just got to keep preaching that to our secondary guys, that it's an emphasis. Obviously, it's important to not try to go helmet to helmet for their sake, as long with the other players' sake.
So, is there concern he could be suspended?
I haven't learned right now. I thought he did as good a job as he could to lower his target, like I said. But whatever they do disciplinary wise, I have no idea.
And also, in the locker room, DY and a couple other guys were talking about the offense finding an identity. Mm-hmm. Is that something that, do you try to establish an identity? Is that something that's up to the players? How does that evolve?
Yeah, you always want an identity. Our identity needs to be found. What are we going to be? Are we going to be a running team, I guess? I think for us to think we're drop back, we got to do some play actions off of the run, and there are going to be times we're going to have to do some drop back. There are going to be times we're down 14 or 17-0 where we can't run the ball. We got to throw the ball, pick up the pace. So we need to be pretty good at everything, but obviously the strength of our football team at this moment would be, I would say, our running game. And we have to continue to work on that and work on handing the ball off and being good at something, really good at something, and I think we are pretty good in the running game.
Coach, my apologies if you've already addressed this, but Jordan Reed, what's his situation?
He hurt his thumb, sprained his thumb. He'll be okay. He just didn't feel good about catching the ball, a little sore. He did a lot of running on the outside, though, so he'll be fine for Houston. Out for Tampa. All righty.